guys, if you would just, no talking, just for a few minutes. Let me show you this, what you're gonna do first, okay, on your pinch pot. So this is going to be, you see the design elements written on the board. Wraparound design, altered lip, additive, and a foot. Foot is the bottom of the piece. It's what you're gonna do. You're actually gonna add legs onto it. So this is the example. Okay, this is the one I made yesterday. You guys saw me working on it, I think. And then I've got some legs sitting to the side that are stiffening up a little bit that I'm gonna put on later. Okay, so you start with your pinch pot, and what you're gonna do is roll coils of clay. And you can just roll them in your hand. Now, I'm gonna do it just kind of random. So I'm not gonna go all the way around, make one that's long enough to circle it. I'm gonna do coils that are not necessarily the full length, because every time it stops, I'm gonna maybe roll a piece of, you can see on these little coils or these twists. So I'm gonna roll at the end of each one, wherever it ends, I'm gonna do something on there like that. Now, the important thing for you to note is you want to keep it looking like a coil on the outside, untouched. So you're not going to smooth anything on the outside of this thing, because the great thing about the way this effect is, it looks like these are just coils still that are loose on the outside, but they're not. It's actually very smooth on the inside. So to keep it like that, you're not going to smooth the outside of it, but you're going to smooth the inside of the coil onto the pinch pot. Just going to pull that coil down onto the pinch pot, just like that. You can see how rough it is right now, because you're going to go in though and smooth it and clean it once you get several on there. But for now, you want to just kind of attach it, like spot attach it, where it doesn't move anymore. Okay, so that's how you get started. Now you're going to, like I said, where the ended, that's where I'm just going to roll. You can just roll it in your hands, or you can roll it on the table. The reason I don't like to really roll it on the table is because it dries it out quickly, because it picks up all the dust. And so then you're trying to roll a coil up and it's cracking, cracks open. So I can roll this little pinwheel. This little, looks like a cinnamon roll. Attach it onto the end. And so then I have to smooth, at least right now, onto the pinch pot. Remember, I'm not smoothing at all on the outside, because I want it to stay looking the way it is. Okay, so the other thing that I've done, if you notice, there we go. Okay, so these, where it's folded, so it's not rolled up, but they just kind of fold back on themselves and then come and fold back the other way. So sometimes I'll do that, and that's, again, just random. I don't really have a plan, I'm just building. And as you build, you're gonna build up, and like almost like you're making an egg shape. If you see that on mine. All right, so where it stopped here, I can fold it back and even overlap where that one was, because I'm going to smooth that. So I can turn it this way. So it's very random, and you're building, and one thing leads to another. So I'm going to smooth that on the inside only. And you're going to build it up to a point. So you're just going to do this, a lot of this. And you're going to build it up to a point where it is, like I said, the egg shape. And then you can attach, and I'll show you how to do this at the end, attaching this top part, okay? And you can do whatever you want. It could be a different design on the top or whatever, but you're going to start turning it in and capping it off really into a small opening. Someone said, why? What's the point? What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with any of this? It's decorative. What do you do with the paintings that are hanging on your walls? Well, they're decorative, or the prints, or the things hanging on your wall. You're not going to eat off of it, okay? So it's decorative. Just because you make something out of clay doesn't mean it has to be functional. Although this can be. If I put glaze in this and on the outside, I can put water in here and I can put a few little flowers coming out of it. It can be used like a vase. Okay? All right, so we just keep building. And this is the part that just becomes a brainless activity that's almost therapeutic. So you're just rolling coils and you're attaching them. Now look, though, I did want to mention, you see where these two coils come together right here. You see that? So you don't want that. So you're gonna work on barely smoothing one direction to try to eliminate that so it doesn't look like they're two different coils that came together, okay? But that's the only smoothing you're gonna do on the outside, is if you have to adjust something like that. You don't wanna lose this characteristic of the coil on the outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one in between there. And I like that fold back, so I'm gonna fold it back. Another thing that happens when you do this is naturally you're going to develop these little spaces or gaps where you can see through it from the other side. You don't want that. You want to patch that from the inside. So if you have a hole that opens up and you can see light through it, take a little piece of clay and press it over that hole on the inside and just smooth it out into your pinch pot and into your coil design. Just like that. And that'll hold that in place also. Okay, so just continue to build. Now, how do you get it to shape like that? Well, as you're building, how do you get it to shape and form that egg shape? As you're building it, you're going to lay that coil to the inside a little bit, and once again, just like when we made the pinch pot, you're going to put your hand over and create a mold, okay? And you're going to press the clay into that mold so that it begins to come back to the inside. These are things you'll learn as you're working. Okay, are there any questions? Chelsea, what did you want to add to this? You said you were going to say something, and then Jacob said to you. No, you were going to ask something, remember, right? She said, and you were like, okay. Okay. Great.